Welcome everybody. I'm starting now for the first time to make a series on Kabbalah. As people who already know me, I'm a big fan of Kabbalah, and I really want to share uh, whatever I know, even though I'm not a Kabbalist, and I know basically nothing compared to all the holy Kabbalists that exist in the world. But I think there's enough to share, at least to give you a little foundation about what Kabbalah is, or what it represents, and what we can learn from it, at least for simple normal individual like you and me. So I started studying Kabbalah about 16, 17 years ago. At first on my own, and then I find teachers. You definitely cannot understand anything about Kabbalah if you don't have a teacher. The first thing when you want to learn Kabbalah is to have guidance, and from the right source. How do you know if the person is from the right source? You need to ask the rabbi or the Kabbalist whether from who he learned it, and he must have learned it from someone who learned it from someone who learned from someone. Kabbalah means receiving, transmission, so by definition it has to be secrets or teachings that come from someone going back all the way up to Adam Arishon, the first man. Many people actually are confused and think that Kabbalah it's like mathematics, something completely outside of Judaism or something disconnected from Judaism. Not at all. Kabbalah, obviously from whatever I say, there's always a minority of opinion who are going to disagree on some points, but I'm teaching you what is the majority of opinion, and I've been told by a very special person who I really trust in this domain, and I work from a few, but I believe he has the correct opinion. You'll have to trust me on that one. Okay, so what it's clear is that Kabbalah comes straight from Adam Arishon. By the way, everything I'm going to say is written in Kabbalah book. I'm not going to bring you anything. You cannot invent things in Kabbalah. You cannot create things. Everything that you teach in Kabbalah has to be something that already exists or have been taught or is passed down, whether in a revealed way or secretive way. Unless, of course, you have Ruach HaKodesh and you become a prophet, then you can have special revelation. But we're not talking about that now. So, yes, the first thing to know is that Kabbalah comes straight from Adam Arishon, from the beginning of creation. Adam understood the world on the highest level. He could speak to God directly. He could travel from one end of the world to the other. He knew everything. He was a very, very spiritual being, and nobody achieved his level yet. All humanity is trying to go back to that level. So what happened is that Kabbalah is trying to regain the knowledge, so to speak, or the way of life. It's here to give us a way of life to go back to the level of Adam Arishon, the first man before the sin. Kabbalah is basically, it's like, for me, it's understanding like science. Kabbalah is understanding how the world works, the physical world, the spiritual world. So the word Kabbalah, as we said, it means Kabbalah, to receive, Kabbal. What are we talking about receiving? We're talking about someone who is a Kabbalist, is someone who has worked himself so well, he has refined his character traits, he has come close to God and purified himself enough to be a vessel that is in harmony with creation and is able now to receive a download from above. It's very similar to someone who is using a computer. In the past we say download, people don't really understand. You download something from heaven, how does that work? Today it's very clear. You can download something from a computer, from the web server, from the satellite. So it's Kabbalah, same thing. I have to be that perfect hardware, that perfect hard drive with the right software, which is working on your character traits. and then I can ask God to give me secrets to understand how the world works, what God wants from us. And then I download from heaven, and I have my mind with a kind of like a computer, helps me understand the message that God gives me. So this is a bit what Kabbalah is. The Torah doesn't work without Kabbalah. All our sages teach us that there are 4 levels of understanding of the Torah. There's the Pshat, Remez, Drush, and Sod. The Pshat is the literal meaning. The Remez is the allusion, like gematria, numerical value of a word. It hints as to something. The Drush is like the Midrash. It's a metaphors, explanation stories to help us understand on a deeper level what the Torah means. And then the 4th is the Sod, is the secret, which is the Kabbalah. So all those 4 correspond to the 4 ways to understand the Torah, and everybody has an obligation, says the Arizal, to learn the Torah on those 4 levels. The Arizal goes so far as to say that anybody who learns only 1 or 2 levels will have to be reincarnated to learn the rest. So we need to strive to learn all 4. Unfortunately, like the Ramchal say, our generation and the previous generations also have been, the rabbis were scared or not pro-Kabbalah, so to speak, because they were scared that people will just spend their whole day learning Kabbalah and forget about the basic requirement that the Jew has to do, which is doing the mitzvot and learning the Torah, the Tanakh, and the Gemara. It is clear that without understanding the Torah, the Tanakh, and the Gemara, one will never understand Kabbalah completely. Kabbalah works hand in hand with it. Now, it doesn't mean that one has to wait till one is 40 to learn Kabbalah, but one needs to have a teacher. That's the main thing. I will speak later about the 40 years old, where it comes from. But for now, I just want to explain what Kabbalah is. I'm a very picture guy, so I'm going to show you a lot of pictures as we go. The first picture I'll show you is this. Is basically the idea of, that this is the spiritual world and here's the physical world. So we are down here, and there's a parallel world that parallels our physical universe. Everything that happens there happens here. It's like a mirror. So we human beings are here, and we try to download, which is the Kabbalah, we try to download the information on how that whole system works, how the physical and the spiritual world works in harmony. And that's what the Kabbalist is. A Kabbalist is an expert in understanding how heaven and earth work together. So I think it's enough understanding basically what Kabbalah is, and we'll see you for next class. Bye.